Okay, my name is Joel Boyd, and this is my story. I have been smoking cannabis.
Can't hear.
It was slowing me down. Smoking, whether it's tobacco, whether it's any vice, whether it's cannabis, whether it's drink, whatever it is, it's a way to cope. It's a way to deal with your problems or not deal with those problems. And so I heard of one of my best friends from college who I knew to smoke all the time. It's like, yeah, our friend so and so, she quit. And he's like, you know how she quit? I was like, I don't know. She was like, you know what she did? Every time she got the urge to smoke, she would go drink some water. It sounds so simple, like the metaphor of like a smoke cloud disappearing, but that's literally how it was. Like I just started drinking water. My finances increased, my emotional IQ, my mental health, my confidence increased. Even now, just last night, I did a show, I did an improv show, I did a comedy show. They offered me a hit, and I was just like, no, I'm good, man. Thanks. Especially coming out of being a people pleaser and just being able to say no. I think I'm a better version of myself because of it. I think I'm a better version for myself. I think I'm a better version of myself for my friends, for my family, for my fiance, um, because of this.
Welcome back, everyone. This quick testimonial was from Amplify's Amp Up Community Engagement Activity Award fellow Joel Boyd sharing his story. As professionals, just a reminder that we must recognize that quitting looks different for every individual. And thank you for coming back and tuning into our second half. We have a very avant-garde presentation for you all that I'm very happy that you get to experience. Our next presenter is Charles Debman, and Charles is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer with the Community Wellness Alliance located in the heart of the District of Columbia. Charles is responsible for the oversight of all health and wellness programs while building sustainable partnerships with community advocates and stakeholders. Charles also currently serves as the DC rep for the AATCLC, ensuring that the AATCLC builds on and sustains its national presence. Charles has over 30 years of public health work. He has led many health related research initiatives east of the river and led a campaign to look at the effects tobacco has on HIV medications. He is the past chair of the DC Tobacco Free Coalition, and through his work to end tobacco use, Charles remains committed to working with people with HIV and AIDS and those wishing to quit tobacco use. Charles holds a degree in business management from Fisk University. He is a master certified health education specialist, a certified tobacco treatment specialist, and a certified addictions counselor. Charles will be demonstrating liberation in action. Let's all welcome Charles Debnam.
Always have to remember to unmute myself. Thanks so much, Yolande. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Before I go any further and just explain what I'm about to do, I do want to introduce Donna Ruffin, who is also on this call. She's going to help walk me through this conversation that we are about to have. Donna Ruffin is a colleague of mine here in DC. She's also a tobacco treatment specialist and have worked with a number of people, the same as I have, here in DC to help people who want to quit and offer them the resources that they need. So I just wanted to kind of get that out there before we dive into this conversation. Full disclosure, I will be celebrating 36 years without a cigarette October 31st. And I always try to keep that in front of me because that's important, especially in doing this kind of work. People like to hear that you can relate, right? So I always share. I'm not ashamed that I am a smoker, and I want folks to know that when they are in the process and on their journey and quitting, that it's not something to be ashamed of, and that you can quit one day at a time. So we wanted to have this discussion or a demonstration, the nicotine liberation discovery session, and just talk a little bit about, that this is a special kind of conversation. And it's not just about quitting, right? It's important for the facilitator, the person who's facilitating this question to know, this session to know that, and that it's about helping someone or the person that's trying to quit feel seen, feel respected, and feel heard, and even feel capable that they can take the next step, the necessary steps in their life to quit whatever it is that they're trying to quit. In this case, tobacco. But it's also helping them to imagine that they are becoming the person that they want to become without nicotine. So it's really important to keep that in front of you when we're trying to do this. And one of the things that a couple of the things that I want you guys to pay attention to when we go through this demonstration is to kind of really look at how it kind of varies from the traditional assessment, because that's what this is. It's more of a conversation. It's more of me or the facilitator really getting to know the person first before we dive into those other questions. All right. So I am going to go ahead and start. I just want to let Donna know. She's going to help me out. And just, Donna, this is your space. I want you to know that this is a safe space. So feel free to share whatever you want to share. Talk about whatever you want to talk about on your journey. If there are any questions that I ask you that you don't want to answer, just let me know and we'll move on.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, Donna. So why is it important for you to be here today?
It is important for me to share that I am on this journey to stop smoking and just to get insight from others who have completed the journey, starting the journey, or just want to share any information that I might can use on my journey. So that's really why I'm here today.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're here. To be a part of that journey and to, offer you whatever kind of help and resources that we can offer to help you. Um, what has using nicotine helped you get through in your life? Give us some examples.
On what it has helped me get through,
How has it helped you get through?
well, I could say it has helped me with my weight control. That was like one of my first initial thoughts. Oh, I keep on smoking, then I won't gain the weight. If I'm hungry, I'll go get a cigarette. Um, as a woman, we're always looking, to be our best. Oh, I've gained 10 pounds. Oh no, let me stop eating this. So let me smoke more. Um, Also, it has helped me in stressful situations. In each family, there's always something going on. And me being the oldest with the siblings, they're always coming to me. Oh, can you solve this? Can you help me with this? And I would just grab a cigarette. It was one of my stress release. It's hard when everyone's looking at you to be that person, and they don't know that you're really kind of suffering yourself. And you look for that quick relief, which is smoking a cigarette.
Mhm. And Donna, you talked about stress and how you deal with it. You also talked about, you know, not wanting to gain weight. And I've done a lot of these, cessation classes or nicotine liberation classes. And that's one of the, I'd say that's the number two reason weight gain. Why women in particular say that they don't want to quit smoking is because of fear of gaining weight. And I always share with folks too that that it doesn't happen to everybody, but yes, there is that possibility that you will gain weight. But it's more important about what you eat when you do decide to quit. You know, you want to have a healthy diet and eat things that don't put weight on you. So I hear you loud and clear about the weight gain. I hear you about the stress. And I heard, you know, we talked about this a little bit earlier too. What are some of the ways that you deal with stress now?
Um, I think being more into my faith and having a partner who is very spiritual, and we read a lot into the Bible. We talk about things that just kind of help you with your personal life, which then helps you on the stress side. I have a stress ball that I use. That kind of helps when someone's calling me saying, "Oh, Donna, can you do this? Oh, Donna, can you help me with this?" Instead of me going to get a cigarette, I use that. I'm starting to learn how to substitute holding a cigarette in place of like a carrot. I'll have like little munchies and stuff like that that won't help, won't put weight on me. So that's what I'm doing.
That's good. And I hear you. What I hear you say is that, you know, you're focusing on not just the behavior, but you're focusing on the mental side of it, the spiritual side of it, the whole comprehensive part of it, right? Of being a whole person. And that's really good to do.
And I did hear the conversation about liberation and everything, and it's not so much focusing on the cessation part. And I think I'll explore that more um, because cessation is just not going to get it all at one time. You know, it's easy for someone to say, "Oh, try this." You know, you had the pamphlets, you go through little courses, but what do you do after that? So, learning about this liberation, I think, will definitely help me on my journey.
Great. And Donna, when was the last time you felt at your best? Um, and what was different?
You know, when I had really stopped smoking for a minute, I was at my best then. You know, I felt better. I could walk up the steps without being out of breath. Um, and I smelled good. How about that? I smelled good. And
That,
my sister even said, who's never been a smoker, she'll walk, she's like, "Oh," she said, "there's something different about you." And it was because I had stopped smoking for a minute.
Mhm. Mhm. And then talk about like just a regular day. I mean, when do you feel that you want the cigarette the most?
When my feet hit the floor or when I have my coffee. That, and I found the longer I could wait on not smoking that first cigarette, that is what helped me. Um, if I could get past not smoking a cigarette with coffee, I could make it longer throughout the day.
That's interesting. So what I hear you say is that the as soon as you wake up and the longer you can or push the wanting the cigarette back, better chances are that you probably won't smoke until later on.
Exactly. Or I won't smoke that day.
You won't smoke that day. Okay, great.
Right.
And what's the longest you've ever gone without a cigarette?
When I had stopped smoking or now, because I've kind of retreated back.
Wow.
But the longest that I stopped smoking, I would say 3 months.
Hmm. Great.
And I felt so good, and I really think I'm going to stop now because cigarettes are very expensive. So that's another reason that I think my journey will be easier because I
Yeah.
just can't afford them.
Talked about cigarettes being expensive, and like you, I was listening to the previous conversations. I can remember when cigarettes were actually 40 cents, you know, and $1 took you a long, long way, but not anymore.
Right.
Uh,
Oh, and I started very early. I think one of the other speakers said they had started in their younger years. I think I started right after high school, and I did start with Newports because that's is what everyone was smoking. That was the cool thing to do, you know, have a cigarette, walk around with your boyfriend, and yeah, that was it. That's what got me.
and what have you heard about people who try to live without nicotine?
The ones who really make it through the journey are so ecstatic that they have done it. I've also heard that they still get little urges, but it's their mindset that they're not going to smoke anymore. So I think if I could keep my mindset on that I don't want to smoke anymore, that I can't afford it, and it is hurting my body, I think I can make it this time.
And we're going to take that word "think" out, right? You can make it this time.
Okay. Okay. That sounds better.
Yeah.
I need to put that up there.
And then finally, I guess my last question to you and getting to know you, what's one thing that you're proud of today, even if it's small?
Just think in a minute. But you know what it is? That I can tell my daughter and my nephews the how hurtful it is, and that I can spread that word to them. Do not smoke.
Mhm.
I have one who, because I haven't hopped on them, but just have explained a lot of things to them that has stopped smoking. So I think that's the one thing that I'm proud of on my journey is that I can pass that information on to the younger generation so they will not get hooked because it's definitely an addiction. When I was younger, I didn't have these panels to listen to or support groups. They didn't have them in our community, because they wanted us to be hooked and it worked on me. So, but I think I'm proud of being able to talk to them about it, about the addiction, and be honest with them.
Well, Donna, I do want to say that I'm proud of you for taking this step to have this conversation with me. It's a big step, to be honest, to talk about, where you are in your journey and not feel ashamed about it and, wanting to get the resources that you need. So thank you for having this important conversation with me today, inviting me to be a part of your journey. Um, having this conversation now, you've laid the foundation to help you on your journey. And, you surround yourself with people that support you in your journey. And that's what we're here for. So thank you.
And I think not being shameful of it, people telling you not to be shameful, you know, that is a big step. That is a big step, you know, or someone constantly telling you, oh, who you smell like cigarettes. Oh, you know, and that's really hurtful. But to know that you're on your journey. You're on your journey.
And it's good to know that some things don't happen overnight. And this journey, it can be a long journey, it could be a short journey. It's up to you.
But I can make it. But you tell me, Charles, I can.
You can.
Not that I think I can make it.
Thank you so much for
Okay, thank you.
having this conversation with you. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Charles.
I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Beard.
Okay. Um, and I just want to forewarn you all that something is going on with my camera. It keeps switching and making me look in weird directions. So just bear with me if that happens. But anyway, I just want to bring our attention to some of the questions that Charles asked and in the order that he asked them, because it is the liberation way. Um, and remember, in liberation, we're thinking about the whole person and just not the behavior. So Charles started out with the question, what has helped you get through? Um, I think that that was his first question. And that's a very intentional question. And the reason that I suggest that you ask a question like that is because those answers you can use later to what it does, first of all, it tells you where the voids are going to be when they give up nicotine, and nicotine has been helping them get through these things. When they no longer use nicotine, I know that those are the areas that I need to concentrate on to fill the void. And so when I do an assessment, that's what I'm listening for, where the void's going to be, so that I can tailor um, the person's plan, or whatever you want to call it, to what their specific voice would be. Um, and then Charles asked about what are you most proud of? And I don't know if you noticed, but Donna hesitated. People are not used to being asked those types of questions. We're used to being asked questions about our deficits. And so in nicotine liberation, it's very important to us that we talk about assets, what's working, what's going well, because you can use uh, those types of questions to remind them of what they're capable of. You did it once, or you have these things that you're proud of. You can also use those things to remind them when they feel like they can't do it. You can turn it into purpose for them. And so again, these questions are very intentional, and I liked the question of what have you heard? That's helped when we ask those kinds of questions, it helps uncover like disinformation, misinformation, just flat out lies, that kind of thing. And so then the mindset of the person that you're working with. And sometimes people won't just tell you that. I mean, you have to draw it out of them by using questions like this. And I just want to make mention too, Donna, like Charles said, gaining weight is a barrier sometimes to people wanting to give up nicotine. So I want to share with you a resource that I use. Um, it's called the African Heritage Diet. It is an organization, uh, uh, and the recipes are plant-based, but from African American perspective, uh, it's not, they don't, the recipes are low cost so that even someone who's on SNAP can make the recipes. And I like the African heritage um, folks because they would come out and, well, when I say come out, well, they can do it virtually or physically, do a demonstration to teach your people how to make the recipes. And so, check them out. Go to the website and take a look at what they are offering. Um,
And Dr.
and I
Beer,
like, hmm
and I just jump in real quick because I
sure.
just mentioned that I really like this approach because I think we started out by talking about addressing a person as a whole. And that's how these questions were designed to really have that conversation and not look at it as an assessment, but looking at it as a conversation, getting to know the person first before we dive into those standard questions that we have to address. So I really like that approach.
hmm Oh, well, thank you for sharing that, Charles. I think it's just been my experience that before you can ask people to give up something that's been a friend, a companion, or help them with whatever they're dealing with, you have to be in a position to offer them something. And so I don't go into any assessment thinking I know that person. I highly believe sometimes you're the student and sometimes you're the teacher. And when I go into an assessment with someone who smokes, I don't assume because they're black, they're facing these challenges or whatever. So my role is just to listen and get to know them. And so again, that's the liberation way. So when I think of liberation, I think we're more for transformation. When we talk about patches, um, how many cigarettes, that's transactional. And now I'm not saying one is better than the other. I think sometimes it exists on a continuum, and your skill and your knowledge will tell you what end of that uh, continuum you need to start with. And that's why I like to do, before I have people in a group, I like to meet with them individually because sometimes they will tell you things, uh, outside of the group that they don't want to share in the group. And then I get to know who I'm working with. By the time I start the group, um, I know what everybody in there. And so I know, how to facilitate the group in a way that they feel safe, that is enjoyable, and that I see them as co-owners of the process. It's not a top-down. It's kind of like a collaboration, moving toward, giving up nicotine.
And
Let's see.
Dr.
Go
Big,
ahead, Charles.
you talk about the group. You want to talk because this is actually a program, right? The when you talk about the group, it's actually a program that we've actually done in several areas or places. You want to mention anything about that?
Well, we call it the Free and Proud Nicotine Liberation experience. It's a 6-week experience, and we uh, going back to how we practice liberation. It's story based. I believe people learn best when you tell them a story than giving them raw facts. And so we start with, I created what I call the UP framework, UP, and what that stands for is unleashing potential and possibility. And in the framework, it's 5 steps. And we start with what I call power up. So before I ask you to give up nicotine, we need to fortify the body because nicotine um, destroys vitamins. I think you heard one of the people talk about how bad they felt when they were using nicotine and even when they stopped. So we start with radical self care. And that's something that we overlook or we don't think about. as being important. But I look at it as, athletes, before they get on the field, what do they do? They have to condition their bodies and learn the plays. Um, so sports, other, you have to condition the body. And so we start with power up. The next thing we move to, that's the honor the body. And then we move to wake up. That's working with the mindset. And the purpose of it is to um, first of all, expose the tobacco lies, the disinformation, but also to uncover their strengths. So if I know, and I see survival as a strength, if you're working with somebody and they have been able to survive whatever they're going through this long or whatever, I look at it as, oh, we got something to work with because this person has, some strength. We just need to transfer those strengths over into this goal. And so wake up, we uncover their strengths, and we also uncover uh, the lies by the tobacco industry. So that's where renew the mind comes in. And then break up is where we start to help them transition from being a person who smokes to one who doesn't. And I call that guard your spirit. Then we have level up, that what we addressed in that module is um, community. So now you work with the individual. I believe that healing happens in a community, and so we level up from the individual to the community. And that's what I call feeding the soul. And then the last up is rise up. So now, you've gone through the process, and I believe in, I think it's the Sankofa that says, look back or go back and get it. And so you're out, you've gotten from Stuckville to Freedom City. So now rise up, raise your voice to help others. I believe our community is a great source in terms of getting other people on the field to fight this battle, with the tobacco industry. And I have had some people go on and become tobacco treatment specialists. So that's kind of like the up system in Free and Proud. Uh, and we have developed an ecosystem because I believe very strongly that our relationship with our person shouldn't end when they complete the 6 weeks. It's just really beginning. And so, how can we stay connected to those people? Well, we have our Voices of Liberation project, we have our ambassador program or influencer program where people who have gone through the program are now representing, they're out in the community talking about the program. So, that in a nutshell, that's what we are about. Nicotine liberation, the whole person. And again, I like to start with the heart, go to the head, and then we do the hands, what we do. So that's that's pretty much it for that. And the last thing I'll say, if I don't know how much time I have, but when we do look at the behavior, how do we help people, decide? So it's not just quitting smoking is a broad category. So you have to know within that category what to do. And I think one of the fallacies that we practice from is that we think giving advice is counseling. That's two separate things, counseling and giving advice. We're very good at giving advice, but we don't know how to do the counseling. So, a simple way for you to think about it is that uh, there are three things you need to know going in with the person. Um, and that's, do they have the capacity to do what you're asking them to do? Do they have the physical and the psychological capacity to do it? If they don't, then it's your obligation to find a workaround or, you know, sometimes what I do is I have to change the reading level. I might drop down from an eighth grade to a fifth grade reading level. in materials. And the next thing, you have to determine, does this person have the opportunity to change? I have a couple, the wife wants to continue smoking, the husband wants to quit. And so it's a very hard um, environment for him to be successful. So when I look at, does he have the opportunity, that's where we're going to really have to work, because he's in a situation. I can't tell him get rid of your wife. That won't that'll cause other problems. So you got to walk a fine line. And lastly, look at motivation. Although when you develop a intervention, or uh, a way to help them. You really don't have to have, they don't have to have the motivation to begin. You just have to be able to show them that it's possible. You have to, again, give them a story to be in, make them feel that they can achieve it. And that in itself will, uh, give them the motivation to do it. I think sometimes people don't do because they don't feel that they can do it, so the motivation's not there. So that's it, I guess, in a nutshell. Charles, did you want to add anything else about your demonstration?
I done. I know we have to move on to the agenda. The only thing that I will add, though, is really briefly, is that you mentioned early on the importance of music. And each one of those categories that you mentioned, power up, wake up, break up, level up, and rise up, all are associated with some type of music.
Yeah, like Wake Up, we played Teddy Pendergrass's, I guess it was Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, Wake Up Everybody. Um, what was the Shaka Khan?
Break up to make up for break up.
Yeah, Break Up to Make Up. What's that? The Stylistic, or maybe I forget who it was, but we have fun with it. And so yes, we use music, in everything that we do.
Yep. So that's it. I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Re-
So
Dr. Beard?
There was a question that came through in the Q&A. I believe this was for Donna. It says, what was the hardest part about the quitting journey?
Hmm.
If Donna is available, do you?
Donna, you still there?
If she's not there, I have another question for you from Brad Wellens. Have you been able to help others, like a peer-to-peer relationship, to address how to quit nicotine? This is a powerful message that I would love for the smokers that I work with to learn from your message.
who's that question directed to?
That's probably directed to, there's no specific person. So either Charles or Dr. Beard.
Okay. Read the question again, Yolanda. I'm sorry.
Have you been able to help others, like a peer-to-peer relationship, to address how to quit nicotine?
Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, just real quickly. Yeah, I have, because I do cessation classes, or nicotine liberation classes here in DC. And whenever I do one, I always find it important to invite someone back that's attended a previous class to share their experience, that have that peer-to-peer interaction. But not only that, I've also thought it was important. I think Dr. Beard mentioned this, is that she's helped encourage folks that have participated in her classes or sessions to work to become tobacco treatment specialists. And that's something else that I do also.
And when I hear the word peer, I don't think of, just people who have experienced or, used to smoke. Because when I think back over my experience with my husband, um, he, I see family and friends falling within the peer category. Whomever that person is going back to needs to be involved in the process, and that's something that we haven't done. But I believe in, again, community and bringing in peers, which include family and friends, because that's going to be the support system.
And we've
Hi,
had
and this is,
married
I'm
couple.
sorry, this is I'm sorry, so this is Donna. It took me a minute to get back on. So if the person could repeat the question.
Yes, the question is, what was the hardest part about the quitting journey?
Actually, not holding the cigarette. Is that crazy? But not holding the cigarette, not having that contact in my hand.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
No,
really think that was
that's
the hardest.
yeah, that's not crazy, Donna. You've just been conditioned to have something in your hand. You know, behaviors are coupled, like I think you mentioned cigarettes and coffee, or cigarettes. We have these rituals that we perform that we've been
Right.
conditioned. So it's normal. We just have to find a way to uncouple those behaviors, and even the having to have something in your hand. There are things you can buy off of Amazon, or you could just pick a pencil up or whatever until you can get beyond it.
Mhm. And I share with folks too. I think that is a big part of it. That whole behavior is that instead of holding a cigarette, and we talk about nutrition, right? Maybe hold a carrot in your hand because it's the
Mhm,
same
mhm,
size, it feels the same way, or a
mhm.
celery stick, and then that way you can address the behavior, but you can also nibble on something that's healthy.
Yeah.
And I have tried that, and that actually did work, having that. And then that also, as you say, it helps with the weight
Mhm.
gain.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
Sticks are really good too, and cinnamon is very good for your blood
Yes.
pressure, and it's soothing. So
Mhm,
the cinnamon sticks are very
mhm,
good to
mhm,
substitute.
mhm. Yeah. So you have to find what works, for you. Um, and we have to make sure that we don't make the person feel bad about it. For you, Donna, you have to have a cigarette in your hand. You like that feel of holding it. For me, I like holding a book. Now I have audible books and whatnot, but sometimes I just like holding a book. um I'm getting a signal that I'm about to lose my connection. So anyway, it's just normal. We have these things, for you it's cigarettes, for me it's a book. I just like holding it.
Right.
We actually do have one more question in the Q&A if we're able to answer that now.
Or did
Um,
we, Dr. Beers?
I believe we answered that question from
how can
Brad
family
Welling.
members and friends? How can family members and friends support and encourage those who just aren't ready to quit yet?
Yeah, I think Dr. Beer did kind of address that a little bit, but just be there for support. Don't smoke around them. If a person is trying to quit, don't buy their cigarettes for them. Just be there to support them on their journey.
Okay, thank you all for your questions. And I do want to remind you that we are having an afterflow session. So if you want to be with a more intimate group and have a further discussion, please stay tuned after 12 o'clock. We would also very much appreciate it if you enjoyed this summit and you are learning and discovering that you please take a moment to fill out our survey. This ensures that we're able to bring more groundbreaking and innovative tobacco content to you. So please take a moment to fill out our survey, and it will be sent to you at the end of our summit as well. And now I'd like to introduce our final presenter, Ms. Carol Magruder. She is a seasoned veteran of California Tobacco Control Experience and a founding member and co-chair of the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council, the AATCLC, and Amplify's program director. Created to inform the direction of tobacco control policy, practices, and priorities, the AATCLC works at the intersection of public health policy and social injustice. They have fought resolutely against the decades of racialized predatory tobacco industry targeting of the Black community and the resulting 45,000 Black lives lost each year from tobacco-induced diseases. Carol and the AATCLC have received honors and accolades from many organizations, including the Public Health Law Center, SRNT, American Legacy Foundation, and the San Francisco and Berkeley branches of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. She served as NAACP branch president for Berkeley for 2 terms. She humbly received the prestigious Biddy Mason Unsung Hero Award in 2021. Ms. Carol Magruder.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me and see my screen? Can people hear me and
Yes.
see my screen? All righty.
Yeah, Carol,
Okay,
you want to put it in presenter mode?
it is for me, but it's not for you.
No.
Okay. Never had that before where, see, let me stop.
Camera's crazy.
Zoom is tired.
I know.
I know, but I'm getting ticked off and
Let me see. And my voice is a bit muffled as well, I'm told. Is that right? Is my voice muffled?
Just a little bit. It's not muffled. It seems like distant.
Okay. Is that better?
I think it's coming up now. Yep, there we go.
Okay. All right. I'll speak up and with more energy. So, first of all, Dr. Beard, this has been absolutely wonderful. We had our group chat this morning, and I said we're making history, even though we're including Charles in that, but we're making history today because this is an act of love that's in the making, that's flourishing. We started this a while back, and so these seeds, Dr. Beard has been working with them, and I think we've got something here. And so I just wanted to talk about defining liberation, contrasting liberation and traditional cessation. And I want to have just some closing comments and kind of be a discussant of what's been discussed so far today, which have been some wonderful, wonderful things. So liberation, and I've been an activist my whole life. I started my activism as a high school student in the 70s when we had African Liberation Day. And so we were working for the liberation of our countries in Africa that were still under colonial rule. And so we had this big parade or march every year. And my job as a young person was to secure the streets, to block off the intersections as we progress. So that word liberation has been a part of my mindset for my whole life, really. And so liberation is the act or process of freeing someone or helping them free themselves from another's control, restraint, or oppression, or the resulting state of being free. And so I think that just that reframing that we're just simply about stopping someone from smoking instead and substituting that with liberation, which is much more comprehensive, holistic, and is moving towards something that's freeing and joyful as opposed to giving up something, as Dr. Beard has talked about, that people are addicted to. So this is what we're working towards, and we can apply this, we can all apply this in our lives, whether we're people who smoke or not, because we all probably need to be liberated from something. Amen. Tell the truth and stay in church. So smoking cessation is a process of stopping the use of tobacco, particularly cigarettes, And so for those of us who are in this field, we spend half of our time trying to explain to Black people what cessation means, because even the word cessation, people don't like it, I have found. And it's a cold word. It's a word that does not resonate the way that liberation does. And when we're working on things, we want to attract people. So the more attractive we can make something, the less time we have to spend trying to convince them or sell it to them. We want to create something that people want and that they seek out. And I think we've got something here. And so when we talk about freedom, and I love the social determinants of harm, Dr. Britt, that you talked about. So there's a negative freedom and there's a positive freedom. And a negative freedom, it means the absence of external obstacles or constraints that restrict individual actions. And so a negative freedom is us trying to extricate ourselves from the tobacco industry. If we could get rid of the tobacco industry, that would be a negative freedom. But a positive freedom is a freedom that involves having the capacity and opportunity to make autonomous, independent decisions and to act on them. And so, and I'm sure that this methodology will have such a positive effect in other aspects of people's lives when they get this framework of looking at things. And so when we're understanding liberation, is that both negative and positive freedoms are crucial to comprehensively understand the concept of liberation. And so a lot of the work of the African American Tobacco Control Liberation Council, Leadership Council, is to fight against the tobacco industry and to get them out of our communities. But on this side of the street, which is just as crucial, it's about creating a desire in people to want to give up these products. So we work on supply, but now we have to spend as much attention focusing on the demand, because this is an addictive product. We see, as Dr. Beard talked about, her husband continuing to smoke even after having his lungs removed. And I spoke with my cousin yesterday who's had a third of his lung removed. He's still smoking. So we need the negative freedom and the positive freedom of getting these entities out of our communities and understanding that these two things, they're related for our liberation. So empowerment and self-determination, of helping, assisting a person to see that they can make independent choices. They can exert control over their lives, and helping them to seek what they need to make that happen. And so in the questioning and the intake and the things that Charles demonstrated and Dr. Beard, of helping people to see the joyful things, or what they do have control over, what they are proud of in their lives. And those little steps are very important. And the role of self-determination, that we all have self-determination. And that goes for us as individuals, and us also as an African American community, and the broader community as well. And so I'm a Kwanzaa girl, so Kujichagulia, self-determination, is one of the principles of Kwanzaa. And it's the right of any group to define ourselves, to name ourselves, to create for ourselves. And so this is what we're about, is creating today. And I'm just so proud of that. And to participate in the process. Nothing for us without us. So we need to be participating in the process. Many of the methods that are the standard of care, we weren't involved in the creation of those processes, of those methodologies. No one asked us what we thought. And we weren't involved in a leadership position to help decide even what questions would be asked. And so that it's a new day, and that is changing, that participation. And we have the right to create and to advocate for our own interests. And I want to say that, we have embarked on this journey with very little support or resources. We decided it was something that our people needed, and we have been making it happen with Dr. Beard and Charles's leadership. And I just want to encourage all of us to not sit by and wait for someone to give you permission to do something. When you see something that could be done in a different way, in a way that would be tailored to our people, to get with the program and to create it, and take those steps and work out how you're going to make it happen, but to start on the journey. And so I want to spend a little time talking about the end game. This is the phase of our tobacco resistance movement that we're in now in California and in other parts of the country. And one of our partners, Action on Smoking and Health, are very much involved with us in the end game. We have an end game center in the state of California. I know we have people outside of California, but in end game, there are initiatives that are designed to change, eliminate permanently the structural, political, and social dynamics that sustain the tobacco epidemic in order to end it within a specific time. So this is where we're at, and I want to give props to Dr. Ruth Malone out of the University of California, San Francisco. She's my personal in-game guru, and when we started talking about this idea years ago, you know, your first mind is like, this is just crazy, but it's like, how do we have the social determinants of harm? How do we allow these companies year after year after year to kill us, and to, when we finally can muster to get something off the market, they create a new product, or they create a way of addicting us. And so we need to switch our mind, make up our minds that we want this over, that it's not normal to sell a product that kills half of the people that use it. It's not normal to have these vapes, and our children are becoming nicotine addicts in middle school. And so we want to end this thing. And so this is an abstract that you cannot read probably, but we will furnish it for you. And this is our sole project, Saving Our Legacy, based in Northern California. And this is an abstract just talking about the end game, because we have to, as African Americans, adopt this, this fight, and to include that as we're going about the business that we're in, which is tobacco resistance. And so this wonderful abstract kind of lays everything out for you, and different things that you want to look out for and to implement. Just this month, Tiburon, which is a tiny city in Northern California across the Golden Gate Bridge, they became the first city to ban all tobacco sales without any exceptions. The third one in California, but the first one to have no exceptions. And so we were actually able to call in and participate in this city council meeting. But the important thing about the meeting was that these were young people, these were high school students who led the charge. And so my dream is to have a group of African American Black children and youth who pick a city and decide that that city is going to become tobacco free, and that we will train them, we will give them stipends, we will assist them, but to have it come from them. And there's nothing more powerful than a group of dedicated young people getting before a city council to make this happen, because there's just no excuse. And adults are become shamed when they have young people challenging them about how we are allowing these deadly products to continue year after year, decade after decade, to be sold and addict more and more in another generation of young people. So that's something we would love to do it in California, but if there's another city or state that's ready to go, we're national, and we will come and we will make that happen. So reach out to me personally if you're interested in making it happen. Sister Aura. So what is our end game? We need to understand that this is a political fight. It's not a health fight. It's a political fight. The health is under that. We want tobacco companies out of everything. So we don't want our elected officials taking money from the industry. We don't want them supporting anything that we do. We don't want them going to the White House to lobby against what we're trying to do for the good of our people. We want them out. We want it to be socially unacceptable for people to fraternize with them. We want them out of research. We want them out of everything. We want to eliminate the sale of menthol and flavored tobacco products. We don't want people to get a non-flavored tobacco product, but that's where the fight is right now for African Americans, because of the targeting by the tobacco industry for mentholated tobacco products. We want to get rid of the hookahs, the vapes, the pouches. In Atlanta, where my daughter lives now, the hookahs everywhere except for childcare and churches. I've seen it everywhere except that. And hookah has there's so many things wrong that it's been allowed to proliferate, and we have to dial that back. And then liberation. So that's what we're talking about today. No more demand. And so we're going to ramp up our tailored services. We're going to ramp up the love and support of people who smoke in our community. And we're going to help them and help ourselves, because we all have something we need to work on. So we're going to use this model to work on the things that we need to work on. And we're going to have Black love, joy, and prosperity. That's part of our end game as well. So we're planting the seed of believing. From this seed comes this big, strong, powerful tree that's deeply rooted, that's getting the air and the water and the sun. And that's what we want for our communities, for our people. Someone said earlier, I can't remember who it was, but healthy communities facilitate the individual's ability to make healthy choices. And that's what we want, a beloved community where making a healthy choice is easier than making an unhealthy choice. So in closing, I hope that we're still on because you're frozen on my end. I always give a shout out to my mighty Maori people in New Zealand. They had passed a law that was repealed. The fight goes on, and they fight like we fight. And so I get inspiration and joy from them, their fight, and we fight. We fight for our people to liberate them from many things. So that's it. I'm going to close there. Thank you so much. And this is the beginning of many things.
Thank you all so much for attending. We've come to the end of our time together in our space, and we just want to thank you for helping us build community. And we know that this is just the beginning. We will be in touch with you and expect within the next 48 hours to receive resources from us alongside this recording. And right now we're going to go into our afterflow session to answer more questions. If you're able to stick around, we would love that. And Carol, there was actually a question for you in the chat from Astrid. Let's see here. I can find it. Gosh, I don't see the question, but Astrid, if you're still around, I would love to unmute you so you can ask that question.
How we can advocate for big tobacco to be banned. So go to our website, which is savingblacklives.org, and sign up to get our newsletter. We are fighting all over this country and have many ways for people to get involved.
Thank you so much. My question was, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful afternoon. Specifically, I want to see one day that big tobacco is no longer invited around any decision-making tables. Never again. They should never be involved in FDA decisions. They should never be invited in for any reason whatsoever. Of course, now we're getting into how do we outlaw lobbying and all of that. And I know, so there's a whole bigger picture. But if a product is designed and its use is to be addictive, and what it does is it kills people, not just the ones using it. So you can hear my passion in my voice, not just the people using it, but the secondhand smoke, the debris poisoning our groundwater, killing animals. How do we get those conglomerates out of decision-making tables? They're very different than someone advocating for housing or health access. So that's my question. How do we get these folks, and it's not just big tobacco, out of decision-making tables? How do we demand that? We have to go upstream, and I'm not sure how to do that. And that was my question. That was what my question was about. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer. I have sat at some of when the FDA first was implementing the tobacco control. Like I used to go back there to those meetings and see the tobacco industry sitting at the table. They didn't have a vote, but they were there to, to delay, to do all the evil things that they do. So it's very painful. And that's how our society is right now. And given our government is shut down, that's a hard question because their tentacles go everywhere. They play musical chairs, so they'll go back from the government back to the tobacco companies. So they have the tobacco companies. They have the inside track on everything that's going on, especially with tobacco control resistance in this country. So it's a fight. We continue to fight, and so we need everyone. And we have so much dysfunction. I don't have very much hope at this point that that's going to change anytime soon. But we should continue to work locally. So with our cities, with our counties, and with our states. And that's the power of tobacco resistance, is working with the closer to the ground with the elected officials that you have, and eventually you reach a tipping point. And so we're seeing that we're having lots of success. It's a process, it's not magic. I live in San Francisco. I have Newport smokers in my family. They still get them. You know, it's illegal there now. But it's a process. And so it's taken a lot of years to get this to do what the harm that's been done. And it will take time to undo it. And so we need to be patient and to understand and to not become disheartened.
Mhm. Well, if I, at the risk of sounding like a negative Nancy, I don't think that we can challenge them head on. I think that and that they will always be around if we just look at, trying to get them from the table. I think, and what I'm trying to do is to take away their market. They only make these products because they're making money. If they're not making money, trust me, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't stay in the game. So my question to myself is, how can I impact their market? Decrease the demand for their product. Got to hit them in the pocket. That's what we have to do, and we do that by helping our people who are smoking to see, that they're being exploited. So it takes both, sides, but yeah, that's what I think. We got to hit them in the pocket, just like we took down Tesla. But go ahead. I digress.
Are there other questions? I can take you off of mute. Please raise your hands virtually and I can take you off of mute. Juliana?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this summit. It was definitely not felt like 3 hours at all. I just have a suggestion. I would love if I don't know if you're able to do like a youth-centered summit. I work with a lot of youth, and Dr. Karen Beard answered one of my questions as far as like how do they look at their past, and I love how she said, "What does your future nicotine-free look like?" But I was wondering if you guys do something that's centered around youth.
Not yet.
Okay.
Emphasis on yet.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
we
well, I'll
do
look forward to that.
Yeah, we do have Dr. Monica Wilson, and she heads up our vaping. We're getting into the vaping now because of our young
Yeah.
people. So I can envision in the future that we would have something to do with youth and vaping, because that's more in the little cigars and cigarette videos. So that's coming.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. I'll look forward to that.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions from our attendees? Any other comments? Well, we still have a few minutes. And in the meantime, Dr. Beard, did you have a question or two to present to the presenters?
Not especially. You mean Charles and
To Charles, to Carol?
no, not really.
Did we talk about Breaking Free Day?
No, we did not.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay. Okay, so I think you heard me mention one of our principles that we believe deeply in is celebrating success as well as progress. And so on November 17th, we will be hosting our second Breaking Free from Nicotine celebration day. And that's a time when we will spotlight folks who have either stopped smoking altogether or they have made significant progress. I think I read somewhere where I think it was Peter Drucker that said, celebrate those things that you want to see more of. And so, and then it also ties into our principle and belief of social proof. We talk about how hard it is to quit, but it's hard, but people are doing it. And so we just need to put forth that message that, and you can too. And so we would like you to join us on November 17th. We will be sending out, a registration link and all of that. And so we'll be happy to see you there.
Great. Do we have any other questions? Final call. Be mindful of your time. Thank you once again for spending 3 hours with us. It did go by quickly. It's always a fast time when you're having a good time. So thank you all for a good time. Thank you, attendees, for offering us a good time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you, and we will continue this conversation. You all have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.
Are we going to stay on or no?
Well, I have time. I do have another call, but I have time.
Mhm. What's your pleasure, Yolande? To do a little bit of debriefing, or do you want to do it later, or
It's
how's
up
your
to
time?
you. It's up to you.
Mhm.
I don't want to burn anyone out.
Okay, so what the rest of you, what's your pleasure? Do you want to do a little bit of debriefing now or later?
I don't mind staying on. There are just a few additional attendees. I'm gonna go ahead and remove them.
Removing now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just us.
Okay.
Hmm. Well, we
Chickens.
still have the is there, Camille.
One more time? Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's
He's
gone.
there.
Okay, Michelle Uli was there. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Charles is given
I'm giving claps. I want to give claps to you.
Yay.
Our presenters were excellent.
Mhm.
I was very pleased with, I was kind of nervous about the Voices of Liberation part because sometimes people just, but I think it went well. The people in the audience, the attendees, uh, got a lot from Michelle and Lori's um, stories. And the same thing with you, Charles, and Donna. I think that was fantastic, how you all interacted. And so I'm glad we included that piece, and it's something that I would like to do more of going forward. Um,
Yes, I agree. I think that it brought it home to reality. It brought
Yeah.
the community aspect that these are real people that this is happening to. This is not just something that we practice and just talk about all the time. So I think with most public health professionals, sometimes we're above and we're kind of looking over. We're not down in the trenches really
mhm,
dealing with the issue. So I think that it made a strong connection with those types of people who are just in the office.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think for me, there's no way that you can have or even talk about cessation without including the people that are actually experiencing
Mm.
the cessation. So that was a great piece, and 3 hours went by really, really quickly too. So
Mhm.
that
My
just
back's
It
not
did.
even, and my back's
Our
not even.
back's not even.
no, yeah, but no, I think it was you guys did a great job.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Uh,
you. I think
Very
the
good
only
job.
mishap was with Zoom with the shared sound. I don't know if that's something that they are
How that
putting in the
happened?
upgrade now.
I don't know what happened because right before the webinar started, Elon and I came on, hopped on to make sure everything was working. But the second more of the panelists came in, it just got a little messed up. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that happens to me every single time I do a webinar. I don't know.
I wonder if it's part of them trying to get us to upgrade.
Could
Probably.
be.
Could be. Yeah.
Or it could be a Wi-Fi issue. You know what I mean? The more people that are on, it takes away the
Bandwidth.
yeah.
Mhm.
And something that we could do, so for next time, if we plan out far enough, we could like create our welcome slides and put music over it and like upload it to YouTube or something and play it that way.
That's a great idea.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right.
Yeah, definitely have to think of workarounds. I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
But your
So,
sound perfectly for the video, Elon. It was like perfect sound.
That's what was interesting because I had tested it and I'm like, this is good. And I still like guessed it. Like, I'm gonna play just to see. And that's interesting that it played because our other songs didn't play.
mhm, mhm. But I love the format. I think the audience did too. I think changing up the different modalities of interfacing with them or, interacting with them is what kept them from feeling like, it was 3 hours because it wasn't like 3 hours of a talking head.
Right.
So I think we should consider keeping this kind of format, going forward.
Interactive.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Padlets were neat. I think they enjoyed that. Oh, is there a way how do we access those later? Because some of those answers I was interested in for the next issue or something.
Yes, I can send you guys a picture version of it. I just have to make sure I went in and added all the correct comments.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the comment. Astrid said we were solid gold.
Yeah, she just
Who
said that.
who said that? Who said that,
Astrid.
Yolanda?
Astrid, she was let off of mute to talk at the end.
She was
Oh,
interactive the
okay.
entire time.
Yes, she was. She
Entire
was.
time from the beginning to the end. Where is she in California?
I don't know if she is.
I don't know her.
Oh, you
Oh,
I
don't?
don't know her either.
Oh, no way. I thought you all knew her.
No.
She was putting information in there for people to look up and all of it.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
we need to recruit her somehow, get her. But and I also noticed that quite a few people stayed on from, the total number that was there at the beginning.
Mhm.
Toward the end, I looked and, the majority of people were still there. So, that's a
Yeah.
good sign too. Um, I don't know how we can capture those kinds of metrics, but I think we should give it some thought so that when we write grants and, make presentations, we can use that information.
This is our Astrid Meher.
Huh?
She's in Rhode Island.
Oh.
Senior multifaceted professional with electric skills. Okay. I
With
love that.
Wow.
eclectic skills.
Eclectic skills.
I wonder how she found out about us.
I love it. Well, look, she actually is big into DEIB.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Aren't you clever? I wouldn't have thought to do the look on in LinkedIn.
Yeah, and you do have a mutual connection with her, so maybe.
That's probably why she came up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I bet Dr. Val may know her too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so any suggestions for changes other than Camille's great suggestion about the slides and music in YouTube? Yeah.
Well, so I usually play my slides in presenter mode, and for some reason it was blurring my slides in presenter mode.
Yeah.
So I had to just play it in normal slideshow presentation mode. So I'll have to look into that as to what type of glitch that was.
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of read notes, print them out, and like, read them. I thought that was a bit wonky.
Mm. What,
Uh,
you reading your notes?
Yes,
Mm. No, I
as
didn't.
opposed to it being on my screen.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think it came off wonky.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, not on my end either.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
For Breaking Free Day, I think that we should do it when we do our next run through. We should have majority of people go in as panelists. I'm not panelists, sorry, attendees, and just
Okay.
people as hosts so that we can see the full scope of what we're actually able to do in Zoom webinar.
Okay.
Good idea.
All right. Well, I don't think I have anything else to.
Again, good job.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Great job,
Good job,
everybody.
everyone.
all of us. So,
Yeah.
all right, T.
Yes,
Take a break.
thank you all.
Who's going to the appeal meeting? Camille, are you going to be there?
No,
Is
I won't, but Nicole will be there. Nicole Turkson.
It's 1:00. Oh, I'll get to eat. I'll eat something and hop back on. Okay.
Oh, you mean the appeal meeting?
They're
Not.
having a virtual meeting at
Oh,
one.
their cessation meeting.
Yeah, today at 1:00.
Oh, no, I'm
Yeah.
not going to that one either. But
Oh.
Nicole will be at the in-person one. in San
Oh, okay. All right then. Okay. Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Job.
Maybe